The Sentinel of Oblivion. The research vessel Eternal Curiosity emerged from its quantum jump with a silent pulse of energy, materializing in the cold void above planetary designation KDX 2971. Fleet Commander Thalasi watched the main view screen illuminate with detailed scans of the barren world below. A feeling of unease settled in her six-chambered heart. "Preliminary analysis complete," announced Science Officer Vereen, her crystalline exoskeleton glinting under the bridge lights. "Commander, this cannot be correct." Thalasi moved closer to the sensor console, her translucent skin rippling with bioluminescent patterns of concern. "Explain." "This planet shouldn't exist, at least not in this state," Vereen said, mandibles clicking with agitation. "Its geological record shows 17 extinction-level events in the last 3 million years. Radiation levels are catastrophic. Atmospheric toxicity exceeds our measurement scales. Surface temperatures fluctuate between absolute zero and plasma state." "Then why are we detecting energy signatures?" asked Thalasi. The bridge fell silent. Their mission had been straightforward. Investigate an anomalous quantum signal detected by long-range scanners. The Myriad Confederation rarely wasted resources on dead worlds, especially one as hostile as KDX 2971. But the signal had contained mathematical sequences that defied random occurrence. "Commander," Security Chief Krex interrupted, his armored carapace tensing visibly. "The signal is repeating, and it's structured. This isn't background radiation." The view screen shifted to display a series of perfect geometric patterns, impossibly ordered mathematical sequences that pulsed with deliberate rhythm. Not random noise. Not natural phenomena. A message. "It's a landing coordinate," whispered Navigation Officer Lorne, 8 appendages working frantically across holographic controls. "And it's specifically calibrated to our quantum frequency." Thalasi's secondary gill slits flared with alarm. "That's impossible. No one knew we were coming. No one could know." "There's more," Vereen added, her voice trembling. "The coordinates point to an area where radiation levels are neutralized, a perfect circle of habitability in an otherwise lethal environment. Someone's expecting us," Krex concluded, weapon appendages instinctively extending. Thalasi hesitated only briefly. In her 200 cycles of exploration, she had encountered many wonders and terrors of the cosmos, but nothing like this, a dead world that called to them with mathematical precision. "Prepare the landing vessel," she ordered. "Full quantum shielding. Minimal exposure protocols. I will lead the expedition myself." As the Eternal Curiosity's landing craft breached the toxic atmosphere of KDX 2971, reality itself seemed to warp around them. Layers of radioactive particles scattered against their shields like luminescent rain, creating the nightmarish light show that would have been beautiful if it weren't so deadly. "Shield integrity at maximum," reported Pilot Mrev, his gelatinous form pulsing with nervous energy. "But these radiation patterns, they're not random. They're moving with purpose." Thalasi watched through the view screen as the hellscape below came into focus. The landing coordinates had led them to an enormous crater that stretched beyond visual range. The landscape was scarred with geological wounds that told a story of apocalyptic destruction, repeated countless times. Yet at the center of the crater stood something impossible, a structure. Not natural formation, but architecture that defied the catastrophic environment. Geometric, precise, and undeniably artificial. "Life signs?" Thalasi asked. Vereen's sensor appendage trembled. "One, but it can't be correct. Nothing could survive here." When the landing craft settled on the crater floor, the team moved with practiced efficiency. Each member represented millions of credits in biological and technological optimization, the absolute pinnacle of myriad evolutionary engineering. Their environmental suits hummed with energy fields designed to withstand conditions that would obliterate most known life forms. They weren't prepared for what waited at the structure's entrance. A human. Not in an environmental suit, not behind protective shields. just standing there, as if the lethal radiation and toxic atmosphere were nothing more than a mild inconvenience. His appearance was startling, tall and lean, with eyes that reflected starlight in ways that suggested extensive modification. His clothing was a patchwork of materials that seemed to phase in and out of conventional reality. "You're exactly on time," the human said, his voice somehow carrying through the poisonous air without technological assistance. 783 years to the second. Thalassa activated her universal translator, the quantum algorithms designed to bridge any linguistic gap in the known universe. "Identify yourself and explain your presence on this world." The human's expression remained neutral. "Dr. Nathan Vega, formerly of Earth's Quantum Harmonics Division. As for why I'm here," he gestured to the deadly landscape around them. "This isn't just a planet, it's a weapon, and you're just in time to help me activate it." Nathan led them into the structure, which revealed itself to be far larger than external appearances suggested. The interior defied conventional physics, spatial dimensions that expanded impossibly, corridors that seemed to fold back upon themselves in patterns that made Varine's scientific instruments emit warning tones. This facility was grown, not built, Nathan explained as they moved deeper. The planet itself provided the raw materials. I simply guided the process. "Impossible," Varine whispered. "The energy requirements alone would exceed the output of a small star." Nathan smiled thinly. "Conventional energy is an inefficient approach. This facility draws power directly from quantum probability fields." They entered a central chamber where holographic displays erupted into existence around them. Not simple data projections, but full sensory representations that attacked their perception from every angle. Stars, galaxies, cosmic movements displayed with a precision that made their most advanced stellar cartography seem primitive by comparison. 783 years ago, Nathan began, moving through the holographic cosmos with practiced ease. Humanity detected something approaching from beyond the galactic rim. We called it the void convergence, a cosmic entity that devours entire star systems, converting matter and energy into something fundamentally incompatible with our reality. The holographic display shifted, showing a dark mass moving between stars, leaving empty space where vibrant systems once existed. My team was sent to establish a defensive position. 17 researchers, the best Earth could offer. This planet was chosen because of its unique quantum properties, properties that could be weaponized against the convergence. "Where are the others?" Krex asked, his security training making him acutely aware they had seen only one human. Nathan's expression darkened. "They're here." In a manner of speaking. The holographic display shifted again, showing scenes that sent ripples of horror through the alien team. Humans merging with technological systems, bodies transforming as they interface with the planet's impossible physics, the line between biological organism and quantum architecture blurring beyond recognition. "We became what we needed to become," Nathan said softly. "The others completed their transformations. They're part of this world now, part of the weapon. I remained, partially human. Someone needed to retain enough humanity to make the final decision." Thalassa felt her primary heart flutter with a mixture of horror and awe. What decision? Whether to activate the weapon. Nathan's eyes reflected the holographic cosmos swirling around them. "It will destroy the void convergence, but the quantum backlash will ripple through 27 neighboring star systems. Billions of lives against trillions." He turned to face them fully, and for a moment, his human appearance seemed to waver, revealing something else beneath, a being of mathematical precision that existed simultaneously across multiple states of reality. "The convergence will reach your civilization in 17 days. I've prepared this world to stand against it, but I need your help for the final calibration." He extended a hand that flickered between solid matter and quantum probability. "Your ship possesses a quantum resonance core that can serve as the final catalyst." Thalassa felt the weight of decision press upon her. "How do we know you speak the truth? This could be deception, a trap." Nathan nodded toward Varine. Your science officer carries quantum mapping technology. Let her scan the approaching space beyond your sensor range. See for yourself what comes. Vereen hesitated, then activated her advanced sensors, extending their reach beyond conventional parameters. The holographic display shifted accordingly, reaching toward the dark space between galaxies. What they saw changed everything. The void convergence wasn't merely approaching. It had already consumed 3 star systems beyond their sensor range. The display showed not just destruction, but a fundamental unraveling of reality itself, physics breaking down into something incomprehensible and hostile to life. Now you understand, Nathan said quietly. 17 days until it reaches your worlds. Unless we act now. The alien team looked at each other, unspoken communication passing between them. Thalassa turned back to Nathan, her decision made. What do you need us to do? The universe's last defense. The quantum core from the eternal curiosity pulsed with ethereal energy as it was integrated into the planet's defense system. Nathan's hands moved with inhuman precision, manipulating technological interfaces that seemed to exist in multiple dimensional states simultaneously. The alien team watched in stunned silence as the human worked miracles with their advanced technology, improving, refining, transforming it in ways their greatest scientists would have deemed impossible. Your quantum resonance matrix is remarkably efficient, Nathan commented, fingers dancing through holographic controls. With minimal modification, it will amplify our defensive capabilities by a factor of 17. How has one human mastered technology beyond even our understanding? Vereen asked, her scientific curiosity overriding her caution. Nathan paused, his expression momentarily distant. I've had 783 years of uninterrupted research. More importantly, I've had perspective. He gestured to the chamber around them, where walls pulsed with living technology. When my team began to merge with this world, we gained insight into quantum mechanics that no conventional research could provide. We became the observers and the observed simultaneously. The holographic displays shifted, revealing a network of defense systems that encircled the entire planet. KDX 2971 wasn't merely a weapon. It was a quantum singularity waiting to be triggered, a calculated anomaly designed to counteract the void convergence's reality-warping effects. The final calibration requires precision beyond mechanical capability, Nathan explained. It requires consciousness, decision, intent, his gaze fixed on Thalassa. It requires all of us working in harmonic synchronicity. Security Chief Krex stepped forward, mandibles clicking with tension. You're asking us to interface with this system, to merge as your colleagues did. No, Nathan shook his head. What happened to my team was necessary but irreversible. I'm asking for something more temporary, a quantum entanglement of consciousness. Your awareness linked with mine and the planet's defense grid for precisely 7 minutes. Thalassa's gill slits flared with alarm. That's not possible without neural damage. Yes. Nathan nodded solemnly. In your species, temporary synaptic disruption, approximately 3 days of discomfort, then full recovery. He turned, moving toward a central platform where 17 crystalline structures pulsed with energy. For me, the cost is higher. This will be my final conscious act as Nathan Vega. Understanding dawned on Vereen's features. You're the final component. The weapon's trigger. Nathan smiled, the first genuine human expression they had seen from him. Poetic, isn't it? After nearly 8 centuries preparing this world, I finally get to fulfill my purpose. The platform activated as Nathan stepped onto it, quantum equations spiraling around him in 3-dimensional patterns. The void convergence exists partially outside conventional spacetime. To fight it, we must do the same. 17 crystalline interfaces rose from the floor, one for each member of the alien expedition. Thalassa hesitated only momentarily before stepping forward, placing her 6-fingered hand on the nearest crystal. Her crew followed her lead, each connecting to the impossible technology. When the entanglement begins, Nathan warned, "You'll experience my memories, my team's transformation, our discoveries, our sacrifices. It will be intense, but necessary for synchronized activation." The crystals began to pulse in unison, quantum frequencies harmonizing across impossible mathematical patterns. Reality seemed to bend around them, as consciousness expanded beyond physical limitations. And then they saw. Not with eyes, but with something deeper, quantum perception that transcended biological limitations. They experienced Nathan's memories as if they were their own. The arrival on KDX 2971 nearly 8 centuries earlier, the discovery of the planet's unique properties, the gradual understanding of what approached from beyond the galactic rim. They felt the agonizing transformation of Nathan's colleagues, brilliant minds merging with quantum architecture, becoming something beyond human, beyond machine. They experienced the loneliness of centuries as Nathan maintained his vigil, waiting for the precise moment when help would arrive. Most horrifying was the direct perception of the void convergence itself, a cosmic horror that existed simultaneously across multiple planes of reality, consuming not just matter and energy, but the fundamental laws of physics themselves. Where it passed, causality itself unraveled, probability collapsed, and existence became impossible. Through the quantum entanglement, they understood what Nathan had known for centuries. Conventional weapons were useless against such an entity. Only a calculated quantum anomaly, a deliberate reality paradox, could counteract its passage. The weapon activates in 30 seconds. Nathan's voice echoed through their entangled consciousness. When it fires, I will cease to exist as an individual entity. My consciousness will become the targeting system, guiding the quantum disruption directly into the convergence's core structure. Falassi tried to speak through the entanglement, a sense of alarm rippling through her awareness. "You didn't tell us this was suicide." Nathan's consciousness responded with gentle amusement. "It's not death. It's transcendence. My final evolution." The countdown reached 0. The planet itself seemed to shudder as ancient geological machinery, built over centuries of patient work, activated simultaneously across its surface. The toxic atmosphere began to glow with impossible energies as quantum probability fields collapsed into a single concentrated point. In that moment, Nathan's consciousness expanded exponentially. His identity, everything that had once been human, dissolved into pure mathematical precision. The alien team felt his transformation through their entangled awareness. Not pain, but release. Not death, but metamorphosis into something beyond comprehension. The weapon fired, not a beam, not an explosion, but a fundamental rewriting of space-time itself. A precisely calculated paradox that shot outward from KDX 2971, racing toward the approaching void convergence at impossible speed. When the quantum entanglement finally released them, the alien team found themselves sprawled across the chamber floor. Vereen was the first to recover, scrambling toward her instruments. "The convergence," she whispered, voice trembling. "It's gone. Not destroyed, never existed." The weapon didn't just eliminate it. It retroactively prevented its formation. Where Nathan had stood, only empty space remained. The crystalline platform had transformed into a pulsing quantum nexus that seemed to exist partially outside conventional reality. "He's still here," Falassi realized, sensing something through her residual connection to the planet's systems, not as Nathan Vega, but as probability, potentiality. He's become the guardian of this sector of space. The return journey to the eternal curiosity was conducted in reverent silence. Each member of the expedition carried memories of Nathan's sacrifice, and more importantly, a profound understanding of what humanity was capable of when pushed to its absolute limits. As their ship prepared to depart, a final message appeared across their communication systems. Not words, but mathematical equations of impossible beauty and precision. The science team would spend decades deciphering their full meaning, but Falassi understood the essence immediately. It was both a farewell and a promise. a quantum equation that translated approximately to, I remain vigilant. Some threats require eternities of preparation. Remember what one human was willing to become. The eternal curiosity departed KDX 2971, leaving behind a planet that was no longer merely a weapon, but a sentinel, a guardian that existed partially outside conventional spacetime, watching for threats beyond the comprehension of mortal species. In the official report to the Myriad Confederation, Thalasi wrote only, humanity's capacity for self-sacrifice extends beyond conventional understanding. When faced with cosmic horror, one human chose to become something more, not for his own species, but for all life in the galaxy. We would be wise to remember this. In the centuries that followed, the Myriad Confederation established a permanent observation post in orbit around KDX 2971. They never again detected the particular quantum signature of Nathan Vega, but on rare occasions, the station's sensors would record impossible mathematical sequences, perfect patterns that defied random occurrence. A reminder that somewhere between reality and quantum potential, a human sentinel continued his eternal vigil against threats from beyond the stars.